French Revolution. What is French Revolution? French Revolution was a social and political conflict with various periods of violence, which involved France and by extension of its implications, other nations of Europe that faced supporters and opponents of the system known as the Old Regime. French Revolution began with the self-proclamation of the Third State as a National Assembly in 1789 and ended with the Coup d'etat of Napoleon Bonaparte in 1799. 15 important events that took place in French Revolution. Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen, August 26, 1789. In a franchisation, the nobility and the clergy will compete for the abolition of their privileges. The National Assembly approves the Declaration, whose first article states that men are born and live all equal in rights. March on Versailles, October 5, 1789. Faced with the king's resistance to sanction the Bill of Rights, and mobilized by the cost of living, the women of the Hills marked later march on Versailles that led to the assault on the Royal Palace. Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette agreed to accompany the mob back to Paris to settle in the Tuileries. Flight of the aborted king and baroness, June 21, 1791. Feeling prisoners in the Tuileries, the king, the queen, and the children undertake the flight in disguise, according to a plan prepared by the Swedish diplomat Fersen, in love with Marie Antoinette. After a day trip to the north, where loyal troops must escort them to the other side of the border, they are discovered and detained in the town of Varennes, and from there return to Paris, where they receive an icy welcome. The King swears the Constitution, September 14, 1791. The Constitution maintains the monarchy and grants the right of a veto to a king with limited powers. The Constituent Assembly is dissolved, and after elections of a census nature to which outgoing deputies cannot present themselves, the Legislative Assembly meets on October 1st.
April 20, 1792. France declares war on Austria at the behest of Louis XVI, who secretly seeks the defeat of his armies. The Assembly declares war on the King of Hungary and Bohemia to give the impression that he does not do so against the Austrian people. Only Robespierre and a minority of deputies on the left oppose. August 10, 1792. Overthrow of the monarchy. The uprising, coordinated by the Parisian sections with the help of the Federated arriving from Marseille, leads to the seizure of weapons and with a heavy bloodshed from the Tuileries Palace. The king and his family take refuge in the Legislative Assembly, and an insurrectional commune takes control of the Paris City Hall. The Assembly provisionally suspends the king and calls a national convention. September 2 and 3, 1792. Massacres in prisons. The alarming news about the advance of the Allies to Paris served as a pretext for the organization of slayer pickets that, with the support of Marat from the Commune and with the tolerance of Danton from the Ministry of Justice, assault the prisons and assassinate cruelly to between 1,000 and 1,400 prisoners, including people of such relevance in court as the Princess of Lamballe, whose head is displayed on the tip of a pike before the window of the Temple Tower, where her friend Queen Marie Antoinette remains.
September 21, 1972. Establishment of the Republic. The convention meets, declares the monarchy abolished, and proclaims the Republic. Although only 10% of the French exercise the right to vote, it is the first parliament in history elected by universal mass suffrage in an important country. May 31 to June 2, 1973. Jacobin coup. The alliance between Jacobin and the Enragés with the support of the Communes mobilizes the section of Paris against the moderate leaders of the convention. After 3 days of appeals, during which she is harassed by the National Guard, the convention yields and places 29 members and 2 ministers under house arrest. A few days later, the new Republican Constitution is approved, which will never come into force. July 27, 1973. Robespierre entered the Republic Health Committee. The sequel to the coup d'état is the almost renewal of the committee at the beginning of July. Danton and his family are replaced by a Jacobin government led by Cotton and Saint-Just. The incorporation of Robespierre replacing a minor deputy, culminated to arrival to power of the Jacobins that marks the beginning of the terror. October 16, 1973. Execution of Marie Antoinette. The deposed queen is guillotined after a mock trial in the Revolutionary Court, during which she is become accused of having incestuous relationships with her son.
March 24, 1794. Execution on Invalids. In its obsession to eliminate the factions, the Public Health Committee, led by Robespierre, stops the leaders of the most radical sector of the revolution, guided by Jacques Iver. June 8, 1794. Feast of the Supreme Being. The convention pays tribute to the divinity in a ceremony in which Robespierre, as chairman of the assembly. July 27, 1794. Terminator coup. In the convention, an alliance is made between the Jacobin sector and the members of the Plain. Robespierre's voice is silent when he tries to deliver a speech, and he and his main collaborators are arrested. November 9, 1799. Napoleon takes power. After a year in which the Terminations controlled the convention and form of authoritarian government through the Directory, the coup of the Brumaire 18 takes place, in which General Napoleon Bonaparte takes power. According to the aforementioned, we conclude that the French Revolution was a social and political process that came in response to great instability on a appalling economic organization. One of the main legacies of the French Revolution is the equal rights of human beings. If it were not for each of the events of our past, today's world would not be the same. We hope you like the video. See you.